What's good? What's good, baby? How y'all doing? It's me, Nate Squall. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised from New Orleans, Louisiana. So I just had to come over here I just want to inform y'all how I knew that she was the one. I know y'all seen my wife to be, the beautiful Miss Tiara Amanda Monet Jackson. She gave her part one on how she knew I was the one. And she has more to come. But here's my part one. And remember, it's a bunch of parts that lead up to this. So y'all sit back, listen, learn. I'm gonna give y'all the beautiful story because it's such a beautiful story. And just know that God did it. I didn't do it myself. God did this thing. God made this whole situation happen. So here we go. Part one. So how I knew she was the one. I'm gonna give y'all the backstory. Right after July, I just walked out of a relationship, and I was really just in a position of just knowing like that just where I didn't need to be, and I had to let that relationship go, and I had to let it go because I knew she wasn't my wife, and I want every man on this to understand that sometimes you can't get to your next unless you leave your ex, and understand that you shouldn't hold on to someone because they want you to hold on to them. You gotta know what's best for you, and you gotta know what God is telling you. And sometimes God needs you to break a situation so he can work on you, and he can also work on that person. So don't be in a situation you're holding on knowing it's not where you want to be at, because you're holding that person from their husband as a man. And as a wife, you're holding that person from their wife. So you gotta let them go. So I knew God was telling me to let it go. So it was a couple of ups and downs on trying to let that situation go, but I had to. And when I let it go, I finally prayed the prayer. I said, God, send me my wife. Don't send me my girlfriend. Because see, a girlfriend is just a season, but a wife is eternal. See, a girlfriend is going to be there for a part of your life, but a wife is going to be there for the rest of your life. And God says, when I send you your wife, you're going to receive favor. And you can't get that unless you have your wife. You will never have the favor that's upon your life unless you have your wife with you. And I'm a firm believer in that a king cannot be a king unless he has his queen. So I wanted my queen. Now in this season, God's working on me. He's pruning me. I'm getting in his word. He's removing friends. He's removing females. He's removing my desires. He's removing my desires even from my eyesight, because our eyes can get us in a lot of trouble. Maybe her body look good, so now you want to be with her. Maybe she got a lot of money, so now you want to be with her. Maybe she can dress, so now you want to be with her. But none of these things lead you to do what God has called for you and your wife to do. There's a purpose for you guys to do together, and there's a purpose for you to do individually. But if kingdom marriage is the way it should go, you have to do it together. And you can only do that by being with the one that God sent you, not the one that you wanted. So I said, God, send me my wife. 3-4 weeks later, one of my prior friends brings a female over, and I'm like, okay. She like, this is my friend Tiara. I'm like, okay. Miss Tiara Amanda Monet Jackson, I'm gonna say, but I had to change that last name. That's another part for another story. But she's sitting on the couch and she looking good as she does. And I'm not paying it no never mind, because I'm like, I know I'm in a season of not trying to be focused on my eyes, so I'm not even looking at her. I wanted to be able to be with a woman who I know from inside you was the one. And just a little quick tip, y'all. God don't move slow. God can speed things up. Sometimes God can slow things down, true, but sometimes God can speed things up. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm living my life. And I thank God that we didn't connect at that time, because we would have not been together today, because God still had work to do in me. And when I found out later, he still had work to do in her. So I do a Christmas giveaway where I give to the homeless, I give to the needy, I collect food, I collect clothes, details are to follow, so you guys be on the ready. And I literally go out there in DC, out the back of my trunk, and I just drive around Christmas morning. Any homeless person I see, I stop my car immediately. I don't care if I'm holding up traffic. I'm putting on the hazard lights. I'm getting out. I'm giving them some food, a goodie bag, and I'm also getting them some clothes that they can pick and they can choose. There may be jackets, there may be shoes, there may be everything that I collect. I'm not going back home till everything in my car is gone. And she said she wanted to help out. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, cause she cute. I'm like, this like real special to me. You know, I don't want nobody just to be, I'm like, I don't really know her like that, you know? So I didn't want to invite her. She asked again. I'm like, you know what? I'll give you the details. In the background, I'm like, I still don't want to invite her. So I really didn't give her a call. I want to say to like the week of, like, you know, if you still want to come, you can come help out. She like, fine, I'll pull up. Cool. I gave her the address. Now we leave. Me and my friends leave the house. We go to DC. First stop was Union Station. And she pulled up. And I'm like, okay. That's what's up. I'm glad you helping out. So she pulled up. We giving out to the homeless, and just her joy and just her spirit was just what the whole entire giveaway needed. It was about a good 6 of us, but you know, her spirit was high. She was smiling. She was dancing with the homeless. And I seen the same passion that I have to help in homelessness, and the passion that I have to help those in need, that she had that same passion. She carried that same passion. Point 1, she carried the same passion that I had. And not, it had to be the same, on the same level, but she cared about something that I cared about, which was the need in the hearts, in the minds, and the souls of others, and just being able to help someone. Because I came from nothing. I came from poverty. So to be in the position I am, I can never forget where I came from. You know, so I love to give back, and just to see her with that passion, that was check 1. So after drive over, boom, we in at Georgetown. We went and got coffee. I said, everybody want to get breakfast? Yeah, let's go get coffee. Boom, we get coffee real quick. Next thing you know, once we get the coffee, all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, well, let's exchange numbers. Everybody had everybody's number. Well, I'm sorry, I think I already had a number at that time, but I wasn't trying to holler at her. I had no text messages like that. So I'm like, she was kind of cool. I was doing a Bible study at that time, and so she joined on, and rest in peace to Minister Ross. I definitely want to say that, Destiny, we definitely send prayers to you and your family, and to the Prayer Warriors team. Thank you. So we're part of this little group chat, Prayer Warriors, a couple of us all over the USA. Me and my friend from Howard University started it. Her name is Jada Augustine, and she gives to those in need also out there in Belize. She does a lot. Those who, the children who don't really know how to speak that well, and the children who really can't read that well, you know, she does a lot with that, and so she's a great help. She's a great person. But back to the story. We on a call, and all of a sudden, it was more like she said something that stuck with me. She said, a woman should not marry a project. I said, a woman should not marry a project. So I'm on her back, like, what's she talking about? She, you know, she did yabba dabba doing. What's she talking about? She like, you're nobody's project to fix. That's God's job. That stuck with me. That right then and there made me say, okay, part 2. She can speak things, and she also, she's a challenge. A man loves a challenge, and so she was a challenge. I'm like, wow, like, I looked at myself as a project from some of the things the prior women have said in my relations. But I said, you know what, God changed me so I won't be there for the next woman. Right then and there, I said, God, I want to be better. So I won't be a project for another woman. I prayed that prayer. And I'm like, man, let me see what's up. Let me take her on a date. You know, so now I'm in tune. I'm going through Instagram. I'm like, let me see what's happening. Who like her? Who friends she follow that I know? Let me make sure none of my knucklehead little partners follow her. Let me see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? So she posts a video. I'm snooping, y'all. She had Caldi's. Caldi's is a coffee shop in Silver Spring. So she like posted a video. She had Caldi's. Meet quickly. I'm talking about I was in the middle of a meeting. Oh, I'm gonna come over there and say what's up. Okay, boom. I put on clothes so quick, y'all. I'm talking about I put the meeting in my ear, switched my phone, and while the meeting going on, walk right across the street. I'm like, I can't even miss this. So, you know, I go up in there playing a little cool. I don't want to let her know I was pressed. You know, I wasn't pressed. You know, so I went and got me a little coffee and seen her sitting in the back with a little cute. So I said, okay, let me slide up there. Went over to ask if she needed something. She was fine. And I think she was in the meeting at the time, But we started conversating. And the only thing I can say from that conversation is that she was able to hold the conversation with me. And that's what really drew me to her. I'm like, so checkpoint 1, she shared my passion. Checkpoint 2, she's a challenge. And then checkpoint 3, she can hold a conversation. Oh, this about to be fun. This about to be cool. Right then and there, I'm like, I want to take on a date. And from that point, we went on our first date. And the first date was beautiful, man. It was a blessing just to even drive around the city with her. We held a conversation the whole time. We ate some good food. It was fun. It was interesting, man. And I left that day saying, you know what? She ain't the one. She ain't the one, guy. She can't be the one. She can't be it. She cute or whatever, but she ain't it. Like, I'm about to, I don't know. Now, at this time, I'm about to move to Atlanta, and I'm just like, I don't know if she really the one. And mind you, so first time she came over in October, first time she helped me out was in December. We go on our first date in January. I had a blast. My parents came because I was about to move to Atlanta. So we went a couple of dates in between, but something else that made me know, we was going to a comedy show. The comedy show gets canceled. Boom, on the last second. So I'm nervous. I'm like, man, this is day 2. I'm like, man, like I had something planned. This is canceled. Let's just have fun. Let's just have fun. And she decided to say, let's just have fun. So she was spontaneous. She was gonna make something out of nothing. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's a blessing. So I already know she loved God because she hopped on the Prayer Warriors call with us. I already know she's a challenge because she ain't waiting on no project and ain't gonna put no time in for no project. I already know she's a beautiful woman and she can hold a conversation because we held that conversation at Caldi's. And I'm sitting back like, hold up. And then she shared my passion. This might be it. The first date was awesome. I gotta get her on another date. And I take on a date. And like I said, it was spontaneous. We go to this one restaurant, beautiful food, great food. I think it was Agora, DC. And she did this little cute thing. She was like, oh, it's his birthday. I'm like, are you bugging? And so, she said it was my birthday. And they gave me the little birthday cake, did all these little festivities. I'm sitting over there like, this girl is really different. Okay, I like her. Then we went to this other place called Players Club where we just had a little fun time. It's a little gaming speakeasy, and we played some games. She did beat me. But I had to let her beat me. I had to let Boo beat me. I had to let her beat me. But I'm like, okay, that's cool. And mind you, we ain't kissing, we ain't doing none of that. We just talking. And the last thing that made me know she was the one. My mother is a very powerful, influential woman, and a lot of females who I bring around her love my moms, even my female friends, even my guy friends. They love my mom. She's a nurturer. She cares for them. She prays. Like she's a great woman. And we'll put the cake, the icing on the cake for Tiara was that out of every woman I had, she was the only one that cared for my dad. Out of every woman I had, she cared for my dad, and that's my heart, because that's my same name. And she bought my dad a cake from Nothing But Cakes. And I said, she the one. That night we went to a BLT Steakhouse, the best date in the world. And that's the night I knew. That's the night I knew. I left that day knowing she was it. I gazed at her one time and I was like, yeah, she is. And that's when I knew she was the one. It took me less than 45 days to know she was it. Part 2 will come real soon, but just to give you a quick little, we gonna talk about is how I went home and she invited me to KFT, led by Bishop Dominique and the prophetess Leslie Osei. Our ministers in Maryland, Minister Dom Kadua and our First Lady, Lady Rhoda. She invited me to church, and she was like, yo, now it's gonna be different. We do church now. I said, okay, cool. And I seen her dancing, And when I seen her dancing, I just loved to see how she was just so built up in the spirit and just doing God's work. And I said, that's what I want my daughter to mimic after. That's what I want my daughter to be like when she grew up. That's somebody I can have a family with. And I know she will lead my children the way they're supposed to go. So now I'm like, let me check the leadership. And I heard Minister Don preach. And that day, that man changed my life. I was supposed to go up and join church that day, but I said, nah, I'm about to go to Atlanta. Nah, this ain't my church. I'm going to be the youth pastor back at my church, back at home. But sometimes you must understand your foundation is not what God is taking you. And it's like a sports team. You can have a youth football coach that teach you the foundation. But when you go to the NFL, you need an NFL head coach with some experience who can teach you and bring you to, who can elevate you a little bit. And it's not saying nothing's wrong with your foundation because it built you. But to elevate, you must separate. And that man changed my life that day. And she don't even know there was a men's conference. I'm like, I am not about to go to Connecticut with a bunch of men and who don't know me. And then I met the man himself, Bishop Dominique. And that conference changed my life. That changed my giving. That changed my sowing. I think that's the first time I sold over $1,000 twice, I want to say. And at that same conference, the bishop was speaking that Sunday. Not our bishop, but the guest speaker was speaking that Sunday. I give you his name during part 2 because he was a powerful person too. But he said, lay a seed at the prophetess foot for all single men who want to be married, so you can tap into that grace. I ran over there quickly and laid that seed and came back, and who I seen at the first corner of my eyes? Tiara. That service, I actually was sitting where the men was at, but she was in the first section with the ladies, so we was looking at each other. And they called for a seed, to sow a seed of that you can feel. And I'm like, God, I just sowed a big seed. Like, whoo, Jesus, this new. I just got to the church. I'm not even a member yet. But they said sow a seed. And I said, God told me if they call this number, you sow that seed. They got to my number. I went up there quickly. But after I got prayed over and sowed that seed, and I was walking back to my seat, who else you think I seen was out there with me? That's when I knew. And that's gonna be for part 2. Hope y'all love this, man. I'm gonna just leave y'all with Philippians 4:13, that you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. And just know your husband or your wife is out there, but you gotta ask God to send them to you. And God will do it for you. Hope y'all been blessed. It's your boy Nate, represent Uptown, Third Wall. You know it. Man of God, though, believe that. I love my family, I love my peoples, and I love y'all.